Honourable Member Michael Woodhouse.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and welcome back to the Chair. For all the huffing and puffing, I think there are just two questions that we need to ask. Are we safer on the road than we were 10 years ago, and what is Labor's record during their 9 years in office when they had a chance to do something about it? Because I'll tell you the answer to that question. None. Zilch. Nada. They did absolutely nothing. We had a 12-month rolling road toll that was steadily decreasing since the 1970s, and then it flatlined under the Labor government. When other countries' safety records improved, ours did nothing, and we now have road fatality rates per kilometres travelled 40% higher than Australia, 28% higher than America's, 82% higher than the UK's. And they can spout sanctimonious sermons, but the fact is they did absolutely nothing about it when they had their chance, and the public should view their crocodile tears for road safety for what it is. It's populist dog whistle politics. Now I want to move on to the question of blood alcohol. They did. Yeah, they microchipped the dogs. I want to move to the issue of blood alcohol concentration, because this has been the fixation by members opposite during the whole second reading debate. And the second question is this: how many serious or fatal accidents in New Zealand involve drivers whose blood alcohol concentration was between 0.05 and 0.08, where that driver was at fault? And the fact is, we don't know. We can draw some inferences from the international data, and but you haven't named a single one. The member has not named a single report which actually answers that question. How many drivers driving between 0.05 and 0.08 caused an accident where they are at fault? And even in the Safer Journeys document, when the AA produced some data to support their position that at this stage 0.08 shouldn't be dropped, the Ministry of Transport were quite critical of the AA's data, but in fact they criticised themselves when the AA pointed out that just 6% of drivers involved in fatal crashes where alcohol was a factor had a BAC below 0.08. The Ministry pointed out that of the 7,800 accidents in the 5-year period under the study, only half of those accidents where alcohol was suspected even had blood taken for analysis. So the simple fact is we can draw lots of inferences from the data, but we cannot say whether this will save the lives Mr Shearer claims. However, it is true that increased alcohol raises relative risk, and that's also what Safer Journeys said. But it doesn't raise it evenly, does it? 15 to 19-year-olds are 5 times more at risk than 30-year-olds. So alcohol is a factor, but it is not the only factor. There are other factors at work, otherwise the accident rate would be extremely correlated, which is why this government is moving to do better than 0.05 for those people at greatest risk. 15 to 19-year-olds will have a blood alcohol concentration of 0. Recidivist drivers will have a blood alcohol concentration of 0, and they will have interlocks. Maybe the evidence will suggest that this is the right thing to do. And maybe if Labor were pontificating over that for 9 years, they should have done something about it. I find Mr Hughes's submission about 85% members of the public supporting this, even though the government isn't doing it. Well, I could name a raft of pieces of legislation passed over the last 9 years where 85% of the public did not support much of the social engineering legislation that that government put through with the support of the Greens, but they did it nevertheless. This is a government that will work on evidence. Again, very ironic that Ms Fenton somehow is the friend of the 15-year-olds, never mentioned it in Select Committee once, where Labor supported the raising of the age to 16, and now do a complete U-turn, despite the fact that the evidence is unequivocal that those 15-year-olds are at risk. They'll sacrifice the 15-year-olds for the sake of a vote in 2014. Clearly they've lost them for 2011, but they realise they'll be turning 18 by 2014 and maybe they might vote Labour. Good luck with that. But not enough evidence to suggest BAC of 0.05 will work. We're gathering it and we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm sure we won't have heard the last of this.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. The contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote called for. Clerk will please conduct a party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
58 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
41 votes in favour.
Green Party.
9 votes in favour.
ACT New Zealand.
5 votes in favour.
Maori Party.
Toko whai whakaheana.
Progressive.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
The Honourable Chris Carter.
1 in favour.
Hone Harawira. Any other votes?
Thank you. Honourable members, the ayes are 116, the noes are 4. The motion is agreed to.
Road Safety and Other Matters Amendment Bill, second reading.
This bill is set down for committee stage next sitting day. I call on Government Order of the Day